everyone, and welcome to REZOcast episode 154. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove, Wilson, and our special guest from the Destiny community this week. We've got Joverrated. What's up, Joey? How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me on, all of you. I would like to point out I was on time, so the Joverrated meme can finally die.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate you. I know any streamer that takes time out of their day to come onto the show and stream with us, we really appreciate it, man. So thank you for coming on to talk some Destiny and just hanging out.
For sure. I'm mostly here for Wilson, but you know.
We all are.
We all are.
I mean, look at him, dude.
Yeah. You're the only ones.
You know, that's a little disappointing though, because I wore a suit for you.
Dude, you look
all right.
Okay,
that's right. You look dapper. You look
very.
I was gonna say fresh, but dapper is more of a word. For our audio listeners, Hove has on his glasses, his librarian glasses, a suit and tie, and he's all fancied up, looking dapper.
Looking very good.
Yeah.
Ladies.
and gentlemen.
Yeah, true. Oh, look,
Well,
Joe's got the librarian glasses now.
I forget it's a video chat. I can do.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we are REZOcast, a Destiny podcast based off of the clan Team Resolute, but we like to talk Destiny. We like to talk other games. We like to just kind of BS our way through a podcast, talk about whatever's going on in the community. And this week, we're so excited to have Joey with us. But for those who don't know, we do want to get to know you a little bit. Oh wait, before I want to introduce you as quickly as I can, but I got thrown off because I want to mention before we get started, because we've been doing this, REZOcast does have a Discord now, a community where you can come in and ask community questions for the guests, for the podcast, just hang out, talk Destiny. The link to that is in the YouTube, in the Apple Podcast description, all that. Just wanted to throw it out there before we get started. But now that that's out of the way, Joey, dude, for those who don't know you, which I don't know how, because it's like, if you play, like, I feel like I want you to explain who you are in the Destiny community, but first, for me, like, it's like any time that I'm playing comp or want some inspiration for, like, going in and getting sweaty, I'm like, and not that, like, he is the sweatiest player or anything like that, but if I want to get pumped and hear some good communication and get ready to go into comp, like, that is the stream that I go to, is Joey's streams. But for you, I want you to tell us, the listeners, like, what can people find you doing in the Destiny community?
Well, it all started with Trials, RIP. But yeah, it's mostly PvP. I have a ton of fun in the Crucible. Of course, as most of you know, with Ryan, Rhythm, the best duo. I dabble a little bit in PvE. I mean, it's hard not to with Destiny. It's like the raid was day one raids might even be more fun to me than PvP, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, mostly PvP and sniping away in the Crucible.
Nice, dude. Well, I have certainly enjoyed your streams. I know Wilson was one of the first people who was like, dude, we gotta get Joey on here, man.
I talked, so Joey, in a lot of previous podcasts, I would always, so what we do is we talk about our week. And sometimes I'd be like, hey, you know, I watched Joey and Ryan. I got pumped up. It inspired me to get my comp score up, maybe score some help later, you know, that sort of thing. And I was like, every week for a while, I was shouting out how many not forgottens you guys have helped people get.
Yeah, dude.
Do you have that number off the top of your head right now? Just take a stab at it. I know it's a huge number.
We missed a few in the beginning before we started keeping track. We're up to like 136, but it's probably around 150 total.
It's incredible. Out here doing the people's work. And like, that's the thing. Like, so I go into Joey's streams. I actually found out about you at the beginning of D2. First weekend of Trials, you were playing with fellow Resolute member KJ Hovey.
Who?
You guys were.
He plays Destiny?
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is.
You guys were, you know, helping people from both chats. It was great. Really enjoyed the energy. And then I just kind of fell off for whatever reason, but like keeping track of like what you had been doing. But when I came back, like you were so well established. You had your partnership. You were doing helps of your own with a huge viewership on Twitch. And first and foremost, like I'm just gonna say, like I've been to a lot of help channels or whatever, like Joey is good help and also an entertainer. Like, so not only does he play
Thanks.
well, help people, but he talks to chat, he entertains, he likes to meme, he memes himself, all the time. It's a really fantastic, just really cool stream, man. I don't know how many times I've come home, checked the stream, and just left it on and lurked while I played, and caught some laughs in the background. Like,
Well, thanks, man. That means a lot. Not the main reason, but how I like to separate myself. When Trials was a thing, everybody and their grandma was doing Trials helps. But what I really liked about it was, I hate when there's a really good player with kind of a toxic attitude. Like
sure.
when they're helping somebody and they get frustrated with the person they're helping. Biggest pet peeve for me, dude. Like, they're there to get better. They're there for help. They're gonna make mistakes. And then Ryan and I found each other just like the most positive human being in the world. You can't get mad when you're in a fire team with Ryan. And
he's so chill,
and
dude.
we just took off after that. It was great.
Yeah, Ryan is so down to earth that he's underground, dude. Like, he's super chill, like, straight up.
He's at the core, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely too many people out there that were doing helps that would talk down to the people they were playing with and stuff like that. I don't want to mention any names, but
No, don't do that.
no, I'm just gonna say I really wish there weren't people that did that. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's not even like they're overtly toxic. It's easy to get frustrated. It just makes me feel bad when they're there for the help and then get yelled at for not doing something right.
Well, that's something that's so cool about watching y'all play is whenever there's something really, I think people need a good example of being able to play a game. Like, and I know they're saying, rhythms and pretty intense and stuff, are pretty low to the ground, not intense. But whenever there's an intense thing happening on screen and y'all are able to do intense call outs, like, oh, he's over there, and oh, he's over there, but like, be chill,
right,
and be like excited and positive still without just being so angry at the other person or anything like that.
Exactly.
People need that example.
That's exactly right. Like that, you can still have a good time playing comp. I know it was a meme at some point where people just get so frustrated, but you really can just relax and have a ton of fun playing it. And I think Ryan is a perfect example of that.
I would say you two together are a perfect example of that.
I just like shouting Ryan out.
there's definitely, I know he does the same with you, man. It's definitely a bromance of the ages. But there are like very intense moments. Like Ryan can definitely get intense, but I like the way that you guys keep the call outs like short, concise. You respect each other's mic time so that because it's one thing to make call outs, but to actually hear other people's call outs and then process them on top of giving your own call outs. Like, that's the high level of Crucible. Like, it can get pretty high octane, and you guys know everybody at that level too. So it seems like every other lobby, you're like, okay, these guys are gonna be going for it
again.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like,
Wilson, didn't you always used to tell me that one of your favorite things about going to Joey's stream was the massive amounts of K-pop that happened?
100%.
Right?
The K-pop is on point.
K-pop,
if you like K-pop, I'm kidding though.
I don't get started down that road.
Oh man.
Wait, is that actually a thing? Because that was just one of my words.
No, I was gonna talk about the K-pop like Twitter epidemic that we have going on, but I don't want to go down that. Oh man.
Well, I'm sure we're all going to talk a little bit about our weeks, what's going on with in Destiny for us or gaming or anything. But I want to get Joey's take real quick, like how Shadowkeep just released. I saw you were in the raid. You are already doing tons of comp. How do you feel about it so far? Like how's your week been? How's the last 2 weeks been since Shadowkeep launched?
I feel great. Shadowkeep is probably my favorite so far, like favorite expansion. I am a huge fan of the way they did the light level grind this time around. Like, it was pretty straightforward. Just do your stuff and you're gonna level up. Like, you're at least gonna get 920, and having that cap right there helps so many people get ready. And I think that was a main contributor as to why a kind of lesser known clan was able to get worlds first, because they didn't have to play 16 hours a day the entire week to be like the highest light level they could be.
Right.
So yeah, the light level grind was great. The PvP sandbox got some tweaks. Snipers can shoot supers again.
Yes, hot tweets, Joey.
Comp is 3v3. Yeah, the freaking Deathbringer is sick. The new exotics, the storyline was great. I don't have very many complaints. Oh, I have one complaint. That stupid tether mechanic in the raid. Oh my gosh. I love it. It's probably my favorite mechanic. It's just not proccing instantly, I think, was driving a lot of teams crazy, because they, like, you know, in the last encounter, you're jumping on Vex Milk going crazy, and they'd, like, it would touch. Everybody would touch it, and then they'd run away, but it didn't sink. And it was driving me crazy. But other than that, I think it's pretty perfect. I mean, the new players come around, the free to play, the season pass, everything. It's freaking sweet, man.
Yeah, especially with contests active, I could see that being frustrating.
Yeah.
Like more time having to stand within range of the boss, just one-shotting everyone. Like,
shout out to Kujay and Gamer and Bombad. Their team got so close, and it just wouldn't connect on one of them. And, like, they had the last DPS phase, and then they had to wipe. I'm pretty sure they had like 12 minutes left before the 24-hour marker, and it didn't connect, and they lost. And I felt so bad.
That's rough, man. So I know. I was watching the tail end of that on Kujay's stream. Everybody
streamed for like a day and 30 minutes, dude. You know it's a big boy stream when it doesn't say hours anymore. It says Nightbot's been live for 1 day.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you mentioned, comp obviously being 3v3. How do you feel about that right now, going from 4v4 and it only being survival now? Are you a fan of those changes? Or
I'm a fan. I think I was worried that the maps were going to play slow, but it's actually kind of nice that it plays a little slower. Like, when it was 4v4, things seemed to be a little bit more chaotic. 1v1s weren't really as important because team shotting was so prevalent, but now, I mean, it feels Trials-esque. It's bringing back some of those feelings, because you can get a pick, and then there's only 2 people left. You can collapse together, where you get 1 pick before and there's still 3 people, and clutches, that's back too.
Man.
I mean, you could do it, but that was like a 1 in 1,000 clip right there. Ryan and I would always like egg each other on. What's that word?
Egg each other on. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You got it.
Where, like, the whole team's alive with a couple lives, so it's like a 1v6. You're like, all right, Ryan, let's see it. 1v8, bro. But now, like, yo, 1v3, get it.
I believe it was 1v6, Ryan. You never lose these. I believe it's what you said.
Never seen him lose one, dude. Never have, never will.
Yeah.
I totally agree with the threes changing. I've been trying to play as much Elim as I can and comp when I can. Even just like I'm able to go into comp, and like I'm sure with the matchmaking changes they talked about today, it'll be a little different. But just like going into comp, kind of just not carrying just whatever loadout like I want to have fun with, and not really caring about it either. Especially with the comp score, like has caps on how far it goes down and stuff.
I feel like I don't believe you.
Okay, let me clarify. I was running Skyburner's Oath and like Lion Rampant just because I was trying to get
weird.
rifle kills.
I went to play a game with Lego, and we were just like, oh, let's just see what the survival playlist is. And before like we just start moving, and Lego's like, do you know how to play this? Like, you should go to heavy. We need to go over here. I was like, would you just chill, man? Like, I just want to play a game or two. He's like, I just go in and I don't care. Okay.
It was that ingrained 4v4, like this is serious.
Yeah, but you also you were like, Hove, do you know how to do this? We should go to heavy. And I was like, I know.
So I've been going back and playing. I've been playing tons of PvP and comp this week. I have been playing with my old clan leader, Great American Hero, and Jimmy and stuff. And it was the same mindset. Like, I was like, we played at the last weekend of comp last season. So I was like kind of teaching them that meta, like hold down the middle, hold down heavy, like it's the same on every map.
Exactly,
like, and so it was really cool to go into this season with them for 2100 for Randy's throwing knife. There have been some changes, like, with supers being a lot more squishier and stuff like that. You got to get used to. But other than that, it was great. Like, dude, when the three of us play together, it's awesome. Like, they've progressed so much. Like, you know, they're doing better than me. Like, and I've been doing really well with mouse and keyboard. I was telling Lego before the podcast, like, my mouse and keyboard self would absolutely destroy my controller self a few months ago. Like, I've been using nothing but mouse and keyboard and just shotgun aping in the Crucible. I know a lot of it might be a little controversial there, but I've been having an absolute blast. I got my Randy's throwing knife, fired it maybe 3 times, and was like, "Fuck this! I'm going back to hand cannon shotgun." Like, I'm so sick and tired of this play style, dude. I had to make it fun, like Lego was doing with Skyburners.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a hell of a grind, but it was something to do. So now I'm moving on to the next one, I guess. Like,
I have yet to do my Randy's throwing knife grind. I will say my favorite change, my number one favorite comp change, Ryan and I were talking about it the other day, is not losing your streak anymore.
Yeah.
Going one more down, I think is huge, because that can just be so demoralizing. Like, having to win 3 games to make up progress, or 2 games or whatever, but now you just drop down to 4 win streak instead of 5. It's great.
Think about how much that could help LFG teams too, that like people that don't know each other that could easily get toxic with each other, and it's like, oh, we didn't lose our 5 streak, we just went down to 4. You know, like, that makes it helpful for people who don't know each other as well too, I feel like.
Even just for helps, like, you know, you're on that not forgotten game, and for whatever reason, you know, you guys just can't get it together. Some bullshit happens, somebody's playing the meta a little harder, whatever, you know, whatever knocks you guys out of that game. Like Joey said, you're now not 3 games away from being back into that.
That was rough. Oh,
yeah, dude. You could just pick yourself right back up, get right back in there. You know, you can Q dodge if you want to, maybe let the other team queue up real quick. Like, you know, whatever you got to do to get that legend rank, you know, like. But I think that's an amazing mechanic, and I think that's going to, like, really help you and Ryan push out more legend helps this season.
Also, I'm a fan, even though, you know, in general, with the idea of comp is to go in, you know, put a team together, go in, all that good stuff, or do helps. But not everyone can do that all the time. So I'm also a big fan of even though it's technically not comp anymore, but the freelance survival playlist is also clutch. I'm a fan of that. Even if, like, there's a lot of times I'll just be like, I want to play some PvP, but, like, I also want to make some sort of progress in something. So I'll just go on and play a couple games. And now with the streaks not going down, you don't lose as much glory. I don't care if I go in and wind up on a shitty team and lose a game or 2. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm
I think
a fan
they've
of
made
that
a couple
too.
great changes. And the guarantee of not matching, like, a 3 stack, or, you know, people hanging out in Ryan and I's chats not matching us. You know?
True.
I've had people just, like, run into us while we're playing. They're like, no. And now you're good.
I didn't even think about that. That is good.
Man. I've seen that happen on stream, Joey. Like, someone like, I matched you, and Joey would go, "Why are you queuing right now?" I think it was Cosmic one time. Was it? Did you match Cosmic one time?
Probably.
Yeah.
And he probably whined about it.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned you being a big fan of Trials, Rip Trials, and they brought a limb back. Have you played much a limb versus comp, or have you been mainly in comp?
The only reason I haven't is because of the power issue that they had, and I think it's fixed now. But
yeah, it is.
I was mainly just day 1 raid prepping, and then I had 2 or 3 streams with Ryan just doing comp. Man, we literally didn't lose a game, like, an entire stream.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. And they changed the rank up on comp too. Like, we got legend in like 7 hours. I don't know. Like, Matt, remember record? Season 1? It took like a week of, like, nonstop winning. Oh, yeah. So
yeah, it goes much faster now. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what they changed, but it does feel like really fast. Like, I'm like, you blink and it's like, oh, you're there. Okay.
Well, I've also lost a game and did, like, really, really well, and, like,
yeah,
still got
there's
points.
Something about there's like performance. How you do in the game can affect your comp score now too, and I don't know. There's something to do with true skill. I don't know if it, like, averages the teams together or what. Because I mean, I did double legend help, and we didn't lose for like 3 hours, and I got 3 people to legend without, like, I don't know. I mean, some of them were sweaty, but I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. It felt different. Maybe just more people. Maybe it could just be player population too.
With the with the way the weapons are right now, and you saying Shadowkeep is one of the best. When you said Shadowkeep Keep 2 is like one of the best expansions, I feel like one of the best progressions Destiny's had. Do you feel like that we're in a good place where they could reintroduce trials? Or do you think they still have a lot of work to do with the sandbox right now?
I think they could have released trials in Forsaken. I mean, once we got, I mean, that's probably controversial. Don't at me, but I think once they brought special weapons back, you had that fast time to kill again. I think it just comes down to cool rewards and and unique rewards that are like hard to get. Not like, I'm sorry, you shouldn't get. There should be something unique about going flawless. You shouldn't like go to the first little spire like with 2 wins and just open up packages and then be done for like trials for the whole season. Like you could do that the first time it dropped. So yeah, I think if they put an emphasis on cool rewards, and I think I'm fine with them taking their time if they are going to bring it back, but I think it would do well in this meta, in this sandbox.
I think their big thing, and I don't really want to get into the conversation of whether we agree or not, but their big thing is that they don't want to bring back trials like that we knew, right? Like we're all like, we want 3v3 Elim, Brother Vance, the poser, all that stuff, but they want to do something completely different. They're going for the feeling of trials as opposed to the game type of trials, right? So, like I said, whether we agree with that or not, because I think a lot of us just liked the game mode too, but
how dare you not share my opinion?
they caught lightning in a bottle with elimination, though, man. Like, it was literal lightning in a bottle, man. Like,
I kind of want to jump into. We don't normally like jump into TWAB stuff right away. We save it like more towards the end, but I think it's appropriate here because there's some stuff. Like a lot of it dealt with the heavy ammo changes for 6v6 and what they did with that, but also for threes and extending where they placed it. But the most interesting thing and relevant to this conversation was with elimination, where they had it. They acknowledged the feedback that we want heavy just one round in the middle. Like they're hearing people say that, but they said they don't necessarily want to implement that right now because they feel that it takes away the objective and makes people just like allows people to just sit in the back of the map. To me, that, and this is where it could get, I think there will be some differing opinions, but I think it'll be interesting. For me, like, I feel like that more methodical, slower, play how you want to play style was something really unique to Trials. And Destiny right now feels so fast, especially the past season with sixes, with all the supers and how long they lasted. It was like never-ending supers and heavy. Whereas now, I don't know, that was something that I kind of missed with Trials, was how you could play it at your own pace until a certain round or until time was up with flag and all of that kind of stuff. I was curious what y'all all kind of thought about that.
Shall I go?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey, if you got anything to say, you just chime in when you're feeling
interrupt
it,
us anytime you want.
Yeah, I like the fact you can kind of choose your play style. I know people would play in the back, people would be super aggressive in Trials, but I feel like the biggest problem they've had with that is rewarding one play style or over the other. We've seen it with Scories. Right. We've seen it with we would see it with super mods. So like I said, I'm good with them taking their time. If they are going to bring it back, like, make it great, but you shouldn't get rewarded for doing one playstyle over the other. And sitting in the back of the map getting your super faster than others drove me crazy. Oh man. So yeah, I like the different playstyles and the 1v1ing aspect. Like we talked about a little bit with comp, but in elimination there's no like you won't come back at all, so your life is even more important in comp or in Trials, and it makes it feel a little more sweaty, a little more intense.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I kind of like the about like the whole heavy thing. If I'm getting ward cliffed, you catch me in a game where I'm getting clapped up by heavy, I'm just like, remove this shit from Crucible, get it the fuck out of here. I want nothing to do with it. We just need gun skill, damn it. Like, but when I'm rolling people with ward cliff,
when you got the ward cliff,
it feels good. Like, it feels good. So it's fun. There's a fun aspect. I do like the objective. However, I always felt like the objective in trials was get the first pick and then hold that body. That
Right,
so
yeah.
it was an ever moving objective. You don't know where the hell it's gonna
Right.
pop up. You don't know who's gonna get the first pick.
Or even not even playing that strategy and just going a different way and like flanking and doing crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there was, that's the thing that I liked about elimination. It'd be cool if they did the heavy thing, like just one round, like it was. It was kind of a, man, it was kind of a coin toss though. Those heavy rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got there first and got the heavy, hey, there it is. But like if you lost the heavy round, it was always the same thing in every fire team. All right, man, no worries. It was just heavy round. No worries.
Yeah.
Like
If you're on the team of nice people.
yeah, exactly.
Totally it.
Yeah.
Why you not have Ash Factory on, dude?
Yeah. No cluster bombs. What the hell's wrong with you?
Dude, that's a good point that Joey brought up though, with like the flanking, not going for that first pick, but like a full flank or not going for the body or something like that, because with heavy every single round that brings everyone to a particular part of the map and makes you play depending on your spawn a certain way, versus if there were no heavy on a round, you could utilize parts of the map that maybe aren't being utilized.
Different strategies. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that's something that I hope to see them maybe put that in Crucible Labs at some point, rather than just changing revive tokens and stuff. Maybe they will. We don't know all they have planned for it. So
What's that map? Citadel, I think. Have you ever been to like the back middle of that map? It's
Yes.
so cool.
it
And
is
nobody
cool.
Ever go? I literally every time I get on that map, I just go in the back, and a blueberry will follow me. We'll just chill because it's so pretty, and like there's never ever any reason to go there.
That was kind of like that D1 map, the dungeons or whatever. That was the real
Oh yeah.
narrow,
Yeah.
long map that everyone hated, but it worked really well for what was it, Rift? That
Rift,
game type.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rift, yeah.
But there was
The
a
hole in the
spot.
middle.
There was a spot way in the back that you've got this amazing like dreadnought skybox. Like, obviously there was the nice one on the outside of the map, but there was just this whole unused
Right.
like. Nowadays it's like a third of like Javelin that was just like completely unused. You didn't even spawn back there. You'd have to spawn in
Right.
and completely turn it around. Like, it just makes me chuckle sometimes.
I will say about the heavy, you're saying about spawning every round. I haven't even tried it with it spawning every round. So that's probably the first thing I'm gonna do tomorrow when I play is test that out and maybe try to get Randy's or something.
Yeah, I do appreciate the timer extension and like them delaying it some, because I feel like that does let you play a little bit how you want to. It just still, I don't know. I think I've said it. I don't need to talk anymore about it. Hope, did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
I was just gonna say like
Opinion?
not really that different. I guess mine's been very anecdotal, but I haven't run into like I've played a little bit of Elim, and I could definitely see how heavy every round could become an issue. But from what I've seen in the games I've played, it kind of just went to like what you were saying, Lego. It became more of like, this is where the action is going to take place, for better or worse. But I've seen with it being Elim, and if you play it right, there's no, don't let them get a revive. Rounds can be over pretty quick. So if you play around that and you get a pick and you push it, you can take heavy out of the equation a lot of times. Not all the time, but that's what I've run into. But I do see where it could become an issue on the other side. But when I've played, I could think of maybe a handful of times that heavy really factored into any game. And most of the time, as much as this sucks for the team that was losing, the team that got run over by heavy was probably getting run over anyway, because they were the ones getting forced off of heavy. But I know heavy can be an issue.
It's just it's like a snowball effect, like a slippery slope, like buttery nipples.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that Wilson? How's that suppository been treating you? Are you all right?
You were supposed to mention that. Why you gotta call me out and make me feel inferior on the screen?
Hey, what you gotta do? Sometimes you gotta do it.
Chibi Kim in chat, she wanted to know, Wilson, what did you say? Buttery what?
Buttery nipples.
Oh, nipples.
Yeah. Slippery slope.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Duh. Gosh.
Well, we talked a little bit about PvP. I'm sure it might be something that we come back to, but I wanted to hit real quick on the story because it's kind of.
If you're changing subjects real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to say, I don't know if this was on purpose, but the 1 week where you don't ask us what we've been up to and we talk about our weeks.
You got something going on.
He has the most interesting.
No, I don't even. No. I just want to point out why I'm wearing a fucking suit on the podcast.
It's not just to be dapper.
No, I mean,
Joey's here.
Yeah.
Listen,
Well,
yes, it's because listen, it's because of one half of the best duo is here, and he'll wear it again when Ryan's on.
Man, what if we came on the show together? What would he be like? A tuxedo, I guess.
Dude,
You'd have to.
all be wearing.
I'm just saying, as far as best duos, I did just come from hanging out with the Chainsmokers, so I mean, there's a couple good duos today. But no, we had a bottle signing, and so I had to like dress up and do stuff. So I barely made it home, so I was wearing a suit. I didn't just put on a suit. I'm sorry.
He actually like joined the call in his car for a second.
Yeah, I was driving home.
He was like, "Guys, I'm gonna make it. Tonight was awesome." We were like,
I'm
okay,
like, bro, get off the phone and drive.
Drive, man. Come on.
I mean, I was fine. I made it.
Famous last words.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, with story stuff, I did want to jump to that real quick because last week I think we talked a little bit about how I think we mentioned it. I can't remember. I can't remember because this week speaking of my week, I got to play with some of our Rezo bros, a bunch of Canadians. Got Maverick and Super Professor, and we were hanging out and talking about.
Didn't you tell me you hate Canadians?
Oh gosh, no! Why would I say?
How could you hate Canadians?
I know.
That's fucked up, man.
They're like the nicest people ever.
Yeah. Aggro tonight. He's all charbroiled. I don't like that.
Hangs out with the Chainsmokers once.
Yeah, it's all burnt up. Come on, man.
Actually, funny story. I saw them in concert once, and a guy peed on the girl in front of me during the concert.
Jeez, man.
Some girl came walking back through the crowd crying. And we were like, "What's wrong?" And she like looked down, and she was all wet, and some guy peed in her boots.
I would cry too.
Awful, man.
It was terrible, but it was also kind of funny.
Buttery nipples and peeing on people. This is a weird podcast tonight, guys.
Welcome to REZOcast, man.
Yeah.
This has been rather tame, actually.
Normally you gotta pay for that kind of content, but
we're gonna start a Patreon.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
Jesus! Oh, what? Let's start a Patreon to get peed on?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it was to get peed on. I just said that we could start a Patreon.
You were kind of
You're not denying it. You said that's not the reason, but I mean, somebody wants that Patreon tier. I'm not gonna
listen. Yeah, I was gonna say if we want to make some money, people are into some things, Wilson. I'm not gonna kink shame, man. Lego, I heard. Oh, never mind.
All right, so
thank you.
Eris Morn.
I bet she likes to get peed on.
Oh my god! Why would you say that? How dare you? Joey's out.
No one has told me that I'm wrong.
Oh man, she's the most likely candidate. All right, I'll give you that.
I was gonna take it further, but I feel like that's a good stopping point. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Right there. Well, the Canadians I was playing with, Mav and Professor, hate to drag them into this, but no, we were playing through the campaign and they were unclear. They were like, "Where does this story end? Like, where have I finished the story part and I can start talking about it, or like, what's for next week?" And we realized this week that it's kind of like a weekly thing, like the Dreaming City did, where you complete stuff for Eris and then like a new, not cutscene, but new story progression kind of stuff. And I don't know if you all finished it this week. I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought it was really cool. It was something really simple, but I was like, oh, like a little bit of Eris's background with her fire team and stuff. And it's just really cool the way it unfolds, and it's got me hooked like week by week. I feel
is it like a Shattered Throne? Is it like a strike or like new missions or what is it?
So it's not new. It's not new things that you do. Like it's like a specific. So last week I think it was a story mission replayed. This week it was like go on a nightmare hunt and kill, like punch nightmares or something like that to complete it. And once you finish it, then you go talk to Eris.
But they still have added, like they added the Vex Offensive on raid day, which added some story to it. There is going to be a new dungeon like Shattered Throne. So, I mean, there is stuff like that coming, too.
What Lego's saying is that, like, so when you got the rocket launcher, you know how you had to get the necklace of Mota, I think it was?
No, I was just saying it also had. I know what he was saying.
Yeah. But, like, just to clarify, like, those like guardians, like her fire team, the ones that are like tormenting her each week, were like doing something to like relieve that like activity and like kind of make their, what do they call those things, like remnants?
Were you saying they were relieving themselves?
Yes, absolutely.
Like hauntings or something.
Yeah. So like each week you're presenting, like you're remaking something. Like you did Siamota's necklace. And,
okay, cool.
This one,
cool.
I think was it Vel Tarlo's?
Yeah.
Titan mark or something. And
That's
every time
cool.
you give her something, it like eases like the pain and like one of those like
nightmares,
like ghost
things,
nightmares. They go away. So like it's gonna be like a 5-week long process.
Leading up to, I think on the map, I'm not sure if it lines up right, but Bungie released, their story is going to have a final Vex Offensive. I think it's in the TWAB, but they had let me see if I can find it here. But they talk a little bit about the story. Yeah, I guess it's not here. I thought it was here, talking about like the final offensive was coming at some week. I know people have been posting the roadmap, and I'm sure if you go back to the original ones, it'll have it in there. But it just like is all leading up to Ikora right now is building a gate and all this stuff. And so
I bet you
that
Ikora
has
has peed on Eris Morn.
Oh my god!
He will not let it go.
Full circle.
I know. But I feel like I like the way this story is progressing more than it has in previous expansions, where we're kind of left with the week by week story and you're kind of waiting for it and you're like, okay, come on. There's multiple things happening at once with the story, and I just am really impressed, like seeing it all unfold, and I'm like really intrigued. Like I want next week to come to know more about Eris Morn's fire team, to know what's going to happen with the gate and the Vex Offensive. What does the final Vex Offensive mean? All that stuff.
Do you know what we need with that in the end of the 5 weeks? Seriously, it's not
say
going to have
it.
anything
Don't
to do
say
with anybody getting peed on.
No, we need
If after this 5 weeks we have this final Vex Offensive and we've like taken all of these burdens off Eris, right? We finally need her like to do something like super badass, like a cutscene with her. Like, what are you getting at, Lego? I thought I would take off what?
The mask.
Oh, okay. I mean, whatever she wants to do, but just kill some shit. Like the cutscene where Cade. I mean, it sucks that he died and everything, but before that, that cutscene was badass. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, we might have some First Light Guardians in here that don't have Forsaken. Come on.
Well, I'm sure they've heard about it by now. I cried about it for at least 2 months on Twitter.
Cade's fucking dead, all right?
But, like,
He's gonna be Cade 7, bro. He's coming back.
Yeah, Eris, she definitely doesn't have her ghost, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't have her light anymore. So I don't really know if she wants to be like on the front lines doing stuff.
She might not have a choice if the world's about to go to shit.
Listen, she's like our only version of someone who's like even remotely familiar with hive magic and stuff. Like she's got to do stuff behind the scenes.
Listen, what do you know about KPI leading indicators?
I thought you were gonna say something about someone getting peed on, but you said Cape.
What do you know about KPI leading indicators?
Nothing.
Fuck me neither. That was Triton's word for me, so I was hoping you would know.
Absolutely nothing. You're asking the wrong person, dude.
I was like, what is he even talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was. I was like, is this a trick question?
I know.
I was hoping you could answer it and then I could use it better.
Absolutely not. He would. That would be his fucking.
I know, right?
Something super ridiculous.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, Triton was supposed to be here, had some audio technical difficulties. He might show up middle stream.
He's not coming.
We'll see. Oh, he's not coming. Okay. But so story stuff, I'm excited about that. I think it's really cool. Have you did you enjoy like the main mission stuff leading up to the raid, or even the raid itself, Joey? Like story wise or Destiny even wise, lore wise?
I did. It's probably the most excited I got because it blindsided me. I'm allowed to talk about stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
spoiler.
Weak
spoiler. We're good.
Big
okay.
spoilers coming for the story.
So, I've probably been the most surprised, like turning the corner and seeing the like pyramid ship under the moon.
Yes.
Like, I literally was like, whoa! Like, we've waited like 2 years, and I thought we were gonna have to wait till Destiny 3, but maybe now that Activision's out of, I don't know, no shots fired. But The fact that like I like that was probably the thing I've been most curious about in Destiny 2 story, and like what are all those freaking ships? And they're just one. I was like, oh, it was good. It was good. I think the ship got me more than like all the nightmare. I mean, the ghost did freak me out a couple times, but the pyramid ship is what I was most excited about.
It's got me like trying to like pin together all these connections, right? So like in one of the final cutscenes where like you have that conversation with like the darkness version of yourself is the way I
that creepy smile.
Yeah,
looked
yeah,
like
creepy smile.
It looked like the CGI Superman in that new movie.
Yeah.
The CGI off his mustache.
Yeah, dude. But like, so it got me thinking about like we got introduced to all this lore from the Drifter and how he came into contact with the darkness before, and like how he's seen, like he's in with the Nine, he's in cahoots with the Nine, and that they kind of like are seeing this coming and trying to build like a place for people to escape to, and like we basically got invited or whatever. But he says things, Gambit is your chance at salvation, brother, and that's what at the end of that cutscene it says, we're not your friend, you're not your enemy, we are your salvation. And I don't know, it's just got me thinking that like everything in this universe is way more connected now, and they finally know the direction of like the overall arc.
Yeah, this
of
is
the story.
This is the first expansion or DLC or whatever you want to call it that to me didn't either just finish a started storyline or start a new storyline. It's the first one where everything that's been going on seems to be starting to come together in some way, which is awesome.
You know, I don't know if y'all saw Anon our resident, I'm just calling him our resident lore guy from now on.
Yeah, 100%.
But seriously, he like grabbed onto that idea, like with the Drifter and Salvation and all that stuff, and it was like, oh, and he like drew all these connections, and we were going after it in REZOcast Discord and on Twitter, and he knows so much more than I do about the lore. But it was just interesting hearing him connect all these dots about Drifter's past and what that means with him in the darkness and the pyramid ships, and then it got me thinking about, you know, how the Bungie devs have said that this season is the start of a thing, and when this ends, something else begins, and then like the season or two after that is when it all comes together, they said. And can you imagine if the Drifter's involved in this, the Nine's involved in this, you got the pyramid ships, Eris, Ikora, Zavala, like all of us come together.
The bowling world championships, everyone's gonna be there.
It's gonna be Avengers Endgame. Everyone's there, you know. I'm excited. Like, it gets me really excited that the world is actually building in that way.
Do you know what gets me excited?
Oh God!
Oh, no.
Oh God! Don't say it. Don't go there.
Never mind. It wasn't gonna be bad, but
I don't believe you.
It was gonna be. You were saying Avengers Endgame. Did you see there's a new rumor out that Marvel is trying to buy Spider-Man because they want him to lead the Avengers from here on out?
I've been trying to buy him for like 20 years.
Well, they apparently one of the guys that like correctly has leaked stuff on Infinity War and Endgame and all that stuff said that they have a $4 to $5 billion offer just for Spider-Man.
That's how much Spidey is worth. $4 to $5 billion.
Real.
Wilson, if I had it, you would be worth $9 to $10 billion.
Listen,
dude,
I'd pay $4 to $5 billion for no more Spider-Man spin-off movies. Oh my gosh, too many times.
Too many renewals. Yeah.
I will say, while we're talking about the storyline, we all know that the Traveler's evil. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I'm courageous. I'll do what needs to be done. We all know Traveler's evil. We're the bad guys, and it's gonna be great when they finally expose it.
I can get behind that. However, I can't get behind that the Hive are worse than us. No. I've wondered about that.
Wait, what?
No, he said that we're the bad guys. Oh. I can't see them being better than us. They're just bad guys no matter what. The Fallen I like, dude. Like, I actually really do like the
Fallen are just scavengers, bro.
Yeah, they're just like they're us. Yeah, they lost the light and they're just chilling. They're just pirates. Pirates are fine.
They were like, actually, I hate to say it, but like they were better than us when they had the Traveler's Light. They were like all peaceful and like used to like go around and like help people out and stuff. And then it left, and now they are who they are. But like I've subscribed to that theory as well, that like maybe there's some manipulation from the Traveler.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I think it would be really cool to like, because they're kind of, I don't want to say like running out of ideas for subclasses, but like we've talked about it a lot before, like Darkness Guardians, this would be like a perfect opportunity in a future expansion or something to introduce new subclasses that are darkness based, you know, like I don't know how they would work that out, but I think it'd be pretty dope.
They could come up with a way to like harness your own light so you can keep your supers or something. I don't know. It'd be awesome though.
Anonpig will have to hit me up in Discord if you're listening and let me know, but I think in the lore there are instances of Guardians using darkness as like another form of power. I think that's actually what like a lot of the Awoken are based off of.
Well, they're like a totally neutral. They use light and dark, I think, right? Isn't that their thing?
Yeah.
They're neither
It's
light
like a
nor
chimera.
dark.
Yeah.
You're a chimera.
I just wanted to use a fancy word.
I'll make that your word next week.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that your word?
No, it really wasn't. That was all me.
I'm impressed.
Not really. It wasn't that.
It's 3 syllables, Wilson. You don't use those very often.
I know, man.
Well, outside
More syllables
of
than
the
P, Hope.
outside of the
I could
story
I could say
stuff,
urinate.
you can say whatever you want, honestly, but we might just all get uncomfortable. Pretty usual for the podcast, really.
Not the first or last people I'll make uncomfortable.
No. So the story, you know, that kind of wrapped up aside. We got the raid then, which was kind of an extension, and also the Vex Offensive, you know, is a new activity. Did y'all get a chance to try that out this week at all? Some new weapon stuff dropping, the new Vex public event that happens. I'm not sure what to call the two of them, because you've got the Vex Offensive is like an event that you go to that is like a instance that you load with 6 people, and then you've got the Vex public events that happen on the moon that's also really fun, but it's not a 6-player thing, it's just a patrol thing. Did y'all get a chance to try out either of those?
They were
Both.
super dope.
Yeah.
They were super cool. The invasions on the moon are really cool because they happen like out of nowhere, and it looks like when you look up into the sky, there's all this like crazy white light, Vex light. It looks like freaking Sephiroth from like Final Fantasy VII is like summoning meteor or something. Like it's super intense. Like lots of very cool like particle effects. The Vex the Vex Offensive, or the one that you actually load into.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
The
Loot
when
galore.
you're in there, you can also see a portal that you look up into the sky, but I think you're actually looking down on Venus.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so like I think it's I think it might be at like the beginning portion. Like if you look up into the sky, there's these portals, and it looks like you're looking down at Venus. It could just be more parts of the Black Garden, but like, dude, what a phenomenal area. The Vex Offensive, like it's a super cool, like it's part of the raid, right? If I'm not mistaken, or like kind of like
opened because of the raid, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but like, dude, the skyboxes, the going into the Black Garden, like it's super green, super lush. There hasn't been too many places like that. It gave me the old Halo vibes when you'd be in like the jungle areas and stuff. Super dope. But
Yeah,
Rain's loot too, man.
Yeah, there's so much shit.
So much loot. Yeah, I don't particularly like. I'm not gonna like harp against it. Like it's a cool activity and it was fun to do. We had like. At one point, we had too many like Rezo people at once to do any 3-man stuff, and so we were just like, Kales was with us too, and so we were like, well, let's do the Vex Offensive thing, and it was fun, and it was like just an easy, chill activity you can do while you're getting bounties done and stuff. But for me, it felt like, I don't know, like I felt like I wanted something a little more, I don't know, like it felt very like the same both weeks, because we had a reset and it still kind of felt the same, unlike Menagerie where it changed up and did a different
I don't know that it
activity
was
every
supposed to
time.
have changed then, because it didn't drop till Saturday.
Right,
So
it could
Tuesday
still
could
change.
still be the same. Like it hasn't been different.
I would guess that if something's gonna change about it, it'll be Saturday when it changes,
Right.
because that's a week after it dropped. We've seen, what was it? The Werner guy on Nessus, like his
Wiener.
daily rotation.
Wiener.
His rotation was a little different at first, and maybe they'll like even that out
Right.
at some point. But there's got to be more weapons coming along, because all those weapons are very reminiscent of Curse of Osiris skinned weapons, but now they have random rolls. They're the same weapons. and
Now they have
archetypes.
grass growing on them.
Yeah, dude, they got like some plant matter on them. It's pretty
So
dope.
lush.
Yeah.
They're mossy.
Well, like I said, I didn't mean to like harp against it because it's a fun activity just as a no-brainer. You're just in there shooting.
Yeah,
stuff.
750 light. You could go in right away theoretically.
Exactly, which is great. I just wanted to highlight that made me love Vex, like invasion things on the moon, the things that just randomly happen. Those seemed extra cool. The portals that opened up visually, it looks awesome seeing them all fly down, and they get more difficult as they go. And if you're solo, if there's no one else with you, it actually feels like really difficult to take down the final boss that comes down. And the fact that it's all just in a public space, it just felt really cool.
He's a little tough. I mean, as far as he's just a bullet sponge, but like you can't really do it by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, can I tell you about my new favorite thing to do right now?
Of course.
So I got the Scourge of the Past, the curated shotgun with the 1-2 punch, Grave Robber, and I got Peregrine Greaves on the same run. Oh my god, dude, is that so much fun going through the air and hip firing and peregrining and just like chunking down bosses. So a lot of people know Mindbenders is this week. Get out there and farm that. It is hands down one of the best shotguns that you can use in the Crucible right now. So I've been farming that. And I don't even need heavy ammo, dude. I'll rock Monte Carlo, that shotgun, and Peregrine Greaves, and I'll as soon as the boss comes up, bam, I knock him into the next phase, shoot things with Monte Carlo, get my melee back, he comes back out, boom, knock him into the next phase, and we're just knocking them out so fast, like farming for Mindbenders. And I got a pretty cool one, quick draw, snapshot, accurized, rifled, and range. It's naughty.
Nice.
It's nasty. Yeah. I know some people just hate shotguns, dude, but I'm having a fucking blast, dude. It's so easy.
Do you like Monte Carlo coming back? Do you enjoying that? I got it to drop from.
It's a good gun. I got mine from my season pass. Is that where you got yours?
Oh no, I don't know. Mine randomly dropped after a comp match or after like something like that. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is
yours
awesome.
Was all organic. I got mine out of the engram from the season pass.
Mine was a lost sector.
Ooh,
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Organic as well. Nice. Organic. What about you, Hove?
What?
When'd you get your Monte Carlo?
I don't have one. Fuck you.
Sucker.
Oh, something else real quick. You talk about the season pass. That's something that I didn't realize. Like I talked about how with PUBG, like I really enjoy playing that for like grinding out, always feeling like I'm progressing with PUBG, and I feel that now with the Destiny season pass a little bit, even though it's like it seems kind of hokey, like all the games doing it nowadays, but it actually like felt pretty good to know that I'm leveling up towards some really nice Titan gear that I think looks really good, the chest piece with the wings on it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, like I actually really want that, and it's worth doing bounties for, you know. So I've been enjoying that.
Fun fact, no matter when you unlock it, the gear in the season pass continues to go up in level as you do, so you can wait on it and pull it out later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and it goes
at light level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it goes to other characters too. So when you go into your pass, you're like, let's say you've only been playing one character and you're at like rank 50 on your pass. When you go to your other characters, you're gonna have gear tons of armor to pick up. Like, dude, the pass is cool. I thought I would be focusing more on the pass. Like, I thought I'd be all about it. Like,
it just happens. Just play.
It's an added bonus, dude. It's really great. I'll forget about it, and like, you know, I'll get a sick play in the Crucible, and all of a sudden all this shit will pop up, and you know, you get like a cool engram or different kinds of things. It's just that extra little drip of dopamine when you're playing, of like getting loot, you know, like.
Even though I don't have a Monte Carlo, one thing, if you why is that funny?
This is the way you worded it.
Here's a question: what is all the new weapons? You know, we were talking about the new mossy weapons. What is the worst roll you've gotten on any of those weapons? Because I bet you mine's worse.
Let me look at Dim real quick, because I think I deleted all the bad rolls on it. I can't even remember, dude.
Oh, I'll never. This one's so bad, I'll never forget it.
I've played like over 80 hours of Destiny since it's come out on Steam.
It was funny too, Hove, with that roll, because I know what you're gonna say, and it's hilarious because when you tell people, they have to think about it for a second if they're not familiar with the new perks. You know, they're like, wait, what does that one do? And they're like, okay, I get it.
I could tell you the scout rifle with no distractions and explosive payload is freaking nasty for the.
Oh, really?
For the Randy's throwing knife quest.
Well, stop showing off, because we're talking about worst rolls.
Dude, I don't keep bad. I don't remember those. You know what I mean?
I don't remember this one.
Rolls, okay?
I don't listen. I don't remember the bad rolls, man. We oust those.
So, anybody want to take a shot before I give the winner of worst roll ever?
Substance kill clip.
Worse actually.
Substance.
So listen.
Firmly planted.
No. You were very close. Subsistence kill clip would be really, really bad on a hand cannon, right? Because it's a low mag, so you get a lot of a large percentage of your ammo back, right?
It'd be less than desirable.
Right. So what would you say about subsistence and multi kill clip?
I'd say it's a multi-bag of shit.
To proc multi-kill clip, you have to get multiple kills. But with a fucking hand cannon, if you get multiple kills with subsistence, it fills your mag, and you can't even reload to proc multi-kill clip.
Cock block.
I literally they were like, here, you don't deserve another perk. You just get subsistence because multi-kill clip. I've never gotten it to proc, because if you kill two things, unless you were down at like one round, your mag's full again, and you can't reload. I was like, this is the fucking worst.
Funny. What an oversight. That's rough.
I was unhappy.
You got a broken ass hand cannon.
Yeah.
Speaking about rolls, though, I want to know like what weapons, with this new week rolling around, we've had it for a little bit. Shadowkeep. Is there a weapon for y'all that really stands out? As like, oh man, I love this thing, new or old? Maybe it just stands out in the new meta.
Sunshot.
Ooh.
Oh, I haven't even used it yet.
That gun is so much either. I've heard it's good.
Fun, dude. The rain, Cross put out a review on it, and I love it. He's like, why are people sleeping on this gun? It has incredible range. You get an awesome firefly explosion, and it doesn't even have to be a crit. It's got 12 in the mag now. It's extremely fun to use. I've been having a really good time using that. But that new Ariana sniper is a lot of fun
it's cool.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a nice PvP roll. I got snapshot on it, but the PvE roll that I'll be taking into the raid this weekend is 4 times the charm, auto loading holster, extended mag. So it's got 7 in the mag with 4 times the charm. It's gonna be a deeps machine. If I would have got firing line on there instead of auto loading, I would have been stoked.
Well, one that I haven't used yet, but I want to say it was MTash that just tweeted like, "Why is no one talking about this right now?" Is I can't think of it. What's the arc submachine gun?
Risk Runner.
Risk Runner. Yeah.
Yes,
He said it's ridiculous right now, just with the enemies that are around with all the arc damage.
Listen,
I guess.
MTash, I love you, bud, but the reason why nobody's talking about it is because not everyone just got their catalyst last week for it. That's why. Because it maxed out the range on it. You know what I mean? And I know it's RNG. So if you do that,
I will say though,
I thought it was in the story.
I think you get there's a quest you can do, and it gives you catalyst and the Kvostov, right?
That's what I was just getting at. The Kvostov mission will give you that, but that's where he got it from.
Wait, there's a Kvostov mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hove.
Oh.
Yeah, man. You go back to the Cosmodrome and do Kvostov things.
Oh, nice.
Which public service announcement, if you have done that mission and you haven't done it on another character, make sure you go back and after you kill the spider tank, pick the chest, and it's like a guaranteed Kvostov or the Generalist shell, the original Ghost shell that you had back in D1, and you can get the beat up Arcadia jump ship as well.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So do it on another character and
hot tweets.
It's hot tweets, exactly. It's 100% drop rate, so you'll either get the ghost or the ship, in whatever order. And if you've already done the mission, I didn't get the ghost and the ship because I didn't know about it until I went back and did it again. But the Kvostov was already in my collections, so if you want to have some fun with it, it's pretty cool. It'd be cool if they brought back the exotic, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey, what about you? Is there a weapon that you're like, oh, this is amazing?
If only there was a gun that could combine hand cannons, snipers.
Yeah.
Whenever you said Ariana's, I was like,
when you said when Wilson said the Ariana sniper, I thought you meant Ariana's Vow.
Nah, you got me thinking about the Vow, dude. That was literally the first thing I wanted to do when I heard about it. It was the first thing we heard about Shadowkeep because True Vanguard and Astacross and Cactus, all those guys actually they went to what's it called when they go to Bungie, the Summit. Yeah, they went to Summit and they got to play some Shadowkeep PvP, and they talked about the Ariana's Vow, and I was watching it. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to one shot with this somehow. That's gonna happen. So in my head, I'm already okay, I'm gonna figure out a way to like one shot, and it's gonna be like the first thing I do with Shadowkeep. And lo and behold, literally I got it with the season pass and went in with Frontal Assault and got like 5 kills in a row, and immediately went to YouTube. Like, oh, it's so
yeah,
much
man.
fun. It's so
I can't wait to
man.
see you stream with that, and
It's great, dude. It's
and
great.
meet people with it. It'll be definitely super entertaining.
Great.
Are there any like builds that you guys have found? Because I found a pretty juicy one.
For what aspects?
Just like any kind of build. So like obviously with the Monte Carlo and the Peregrine Greaves and stuff like that, but with hunters on the artifact, the last column, there's a perk that says when using your class ability, you get an overshield for the duration of your class ability. So for instance, for hunters, we get an overshield when we dodge. You can get an overshield if you're on your Stormcaller throwing down a rift. But it's just for the duration, just to make sure that you get your class ability off. But I've been using the Assassin's Cowl, which melee kills give you a portion of your health back. So I found like really cool, like by pairing that Assassin's Cowl with the arc ability with the overshield, it works really well for shotgunning. So I was telling Lego before the podcast, like if someone melees me first and I instinctively like melee them second, like the next melee is gonna kill me, right? But if I dodge and they melee me while I'm dodging, I have that overshield, and then now my melee is up and I tag them. Now I get health back. You know what I mean? So it's very like, it's a lot of moving parts to the build, but like, dude, I have just been fucking running at people, dude, and getting away with it, man. Like I have just been aping, dude, ape city. It is so
much fun. What have you become, Wilson?
Yes, I'm sorry. Listen, okay, I will get to the snipes on M and K. Like, I can only snipe with controller right now, and I've put the sticks down into retirement for the moment. I am going to be a masochist and just say, you know what, you're going to get slapped up for the first couple hours, like, sniping. But, like, seeing the progression on mouse and keyboard, like, dude, using a scout rifle was the most frustrating thing with mouse and keyboard for me. And by the end of it, dude, I was dropping like 40 bombs, dude. Like,
it's fun, man.
It's the progression of the quest, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's teaching you, like Luna's Howl was teaching you how to use 180s. You know, Mountaintop was teaching you how to use grenade launchers. And like, I bitch and moan at the beginning of it, but by the end of it, I'm like, dude, I'm very competent with this weapon type.
I will bitch and moan forever about Mountaintop. That was the worst. Especially on console, dude. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how many times I would kill one person, shoot 3 more grenade launchers into someone, and they leave with like that much health. And you wouldn't get the double kill, and it was like tied to frames too. So there's nothing you could do. Oh.
Yeah. But it's such a good gun though when you do.
You know what's great?
I know.
For that grenade launcher, just sliver of health now, is I put on just as many like scout rifle grenade launcher dexterity mods as I could, so that way I can just put on Skyburner's Oath, and every time I shoot a Mountaintop at someone, I never kill them. It always leaves them like that little tiny bit, and I just swap to Skyburner's and boom, melted, like every time. It's so helpful for that quest if I don't want to sit in the back of the map or anything, you know. It's been fun.
I think Cross called that like the AC 130 build or whatever. Yeah, it's super nice. You just do.
It's so fun, and I'm sure it's so frustrating for other players when they're expecting, especially if I'm playing in comp and you expect them to be a little more sweaty, and you're playing with someone who's like shotgunning, sliding in, and you're just hovering above them, just like laying down the fire. You know, it's really fun.
Have you ever run Stompy's high jump?
No. Yes. You go so high,
dude. Pair that with console and like playing a controller, like you have no many times how many Titans and Warlocks I just see just like what?
Oh
what
yeah.
Just jump high up in the air and you can literally just 30 with Skyrim.
Yeah, and it on controller, dude, it takes so long.
It takes forever to look up. There's
it really does. That's like my favorite thing about M&K, man, is I could just like flick the mouse super fast.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the progression on mouse and keyboard is really fun. Like I'll hit like a quick scope or like a double snipe, like not that impressive. I mean impressive, but like I want to be better, you know. So like I'll hit like one clip. Like if I hit it on PlayStation, it'd be nothing. But because it's on mouse and keyboard, I'm like, oh, that was amazing.
There's
like
a lot
regular snipe.
Yeah, there's a lot less forgiveness. But like, dude, you got to admit, Joey, like if there's anything better than hitting a snipe, it's hitting a snipe with mouse and keyboard, dude. It hits every pleasure zone, dude. Like it's fantastic.
Not as much as the tier 3 Patreon will, dude.
I'll say Eris disagrees with every pleasure zone.
Hope told me before he showed up to the podcast that Lola Bunny hits every pleasure zone for him. I'm not sure how that's relevant to the conversation. He just
Oh, it's definitely relevant. We should
don't
go
know.
We going down that route?
I don't remember.
That's what he said.
I don't recall this conversation.
It was
Why
weird
don't you tell
to
me about
too.
it?
It was weird.
Why don't you tell me about it, Lego?
I felt like Willy Wonka had brought me into the factory. I've seen all this stuff, and I just wanted out.
Oh man,
I
know that.
wanted out of the conversation.
I know that
Listen.
feeling sometimes, man.
I'm not. I mean, never mind.
Well, we were talking for a second there about Joey, about like your progression with mouse and keyboard and like wanting to be better. And I think there's a lot of people out there who come to your streams like wanting to be better at comp, PvP, that kind of stuff. You know, if there's any advice that you could give to people who are maybe wanting, they see that solo playlist, you know, or they got their friends and they think threes is the time in comp to go get, maybe they've never gotten Lunas, maybe they've never gotten Not Forgotten for the first time, you know, what advice would you give some of those players that are wanting to go for it this season?
Like specifically for mouse and keyboard, or just wanting to go get like
you can
some
do
of the
both.
pinnacle
You can do
guns?
mouse and keyboard for new people coming to PC, because there's a lot of people I know there as well.
I mean, biggest thing for PC, especially if you're coming over from controller, is just freaking play. I mean, the muscle memory is gonna take a hot minute. It's gonna take a few weeks, probably even like more than a month, and just practice. You know, because it's weird. I hate it. You're taking like my mentality that I have on console, and I consider myself a good player. So then I go to like I go to mouse and keyboard. I'm like, come on. Do what I want you to do. Like, blink over this guy 180 quickscope him. Do it. And it's like so freaking hard. Oh,
that's the most frustrating part is knowing I would have had that guy on controller and not leave the controller down.
It is so tempting. Like, dude, during the beta of because I play PC games. You know, I played Counter Strike. I played like a decent amount of PC games, and I would. Without a doubt, whenever I was playing the beta, like the D2 beta back in 2017, I would play on like mouse and keyboard, and then we start losing, and I was like, all right, like, I have to play it in. I can't like resist.
That's me.
And it's so easy too, because if you have your controller on and you're playing with your controller, you can literally set it down and start moving your mouse and keyboard. It's so tempting, like, but don't. Like, don't do it. That's some good advice. Like, I mean, any more advice? Like,
oh well, for getting the comp guns and stuff. I don't know. I haven't played too much of the solo, so I don't know like how. Like what's the word I'm looking for? How well that would go. Like, going in solo, trying to get that. The main thing is just finding a team. I know it's really hard to do, but. Getting a team you're good with, and then just grinding out, you know, not getting frustrated with each other, and you'll get better as you go on playing the game. Just a lot of, I know it's like a lot of controversy like a few years ago where people were just telling people to just constantly play like video games to like get better, but it's mainly just, I know it sounds goofy, but watch your gameplay. Like literally just watch what you do, and I try to do it while I'm playing. Like if I blink towards someone, like go try to melee, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that, like that was dumb. And then like if I die, I'm like, okay, like next time I'm gonna go around right. Like try to always evolve how you play, because if you go down the same lane 20 times, it's not gonna change. You're not gonna get any better. So yeah, just try to change up a bit and get better as time goes on.
It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
the first week of trials, you have no idea how many people I kill. Like it was on Eternity going outside, and they would just single file come out every single time. Ryan and I would just have Midas on, and like they wouldn't stop. Oh man. Change up your strategies.
I would also say, like, you don't have to be the best players in the world, but if you can find people you play good with,
chemistry for sure.
Chemistry is huge. Map knowledge, knowing the flow of battle, knowing what your friends are going to be doing. Like, I know that
supers,
super management. Don't pop them all at the same time. Call them out when you're going to use them. You know, that sort of thing.
Don't pop at the end of the round.
But the most important thing I think anyone could do is check out Joey and Ryan when they stream live. You know what I mean? And I'm not. It sounds cheesy, dude, but like, dude, watching Joey, watching Ryan, and watching Kujay have helped my game so much. He says, "Meh."
Have you,
like,
Wilson? Have you bought a ring yet?
I'm Jesus. Just saying, dude. Listen. I'm just this guy.
He held out his hand. I mean, you know, man.
I do want to point out quickly, not to change the subject, but really important thing. Mr. Tomfoolery, aka Marcus, today is his birthday, so make sure you go wish him. Even if you're listening to this next week, go wish him a belated happy birthday. Also, I want to shout him out because he said, "Don't worry about context." He just said, basically, I'm saying Hove and Kobe Bryant are the same people.
He also said, "How much did Joey pay you for that endorsement?"
Too much.
Absolutely nothing.
Also, happy birthday.
No, but seriously, check out your favorite streamers. There's some really good PvP streamers out there that like that helped me a lot. Like, I can't even stress that enough. A lot of times you watch, especially with Joey, if he makes an insane play, someone will clip it, they'll put it in chat, and then like during the downtime in between rounds or whatever, he'll be replaying it and stuff. And it's pretty cool. It's like he says, you know, he watches a lot of his footage even while he's streaming. He'll hit those hot clips and play them for the rest of the chat and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And like I said, you're also an entertainer as well. So it's not just like you're boring, like, oh, I hope I win this raffle sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you come for the raffle, you stay for the hot clips.
For the eyebrows, bro. Yeah, for sure. Like, sometimes it stings, but especially after like a 5-5, like 5-5 countdown loss, you know, or something, like, I'll go in and watch it every single time. And there are times where you should say, I shouldn't have slid around that corner. Like, if I did this differently or like played my life better, like, you could have won the game. So it's all about adapting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally with you on watching back clips too, because on games you win, lose, or watching streamers, like watching Joey play, like it helps you. Watching streamers helps you realize things that you didn't even know you could do, or you're like, oh wow, that guy, I didn't even think about making the move he just made, or anything like that. And then also watching yourself lets you realize like what you're doing wrong and what you could have done different, because a lot of times you have that in the moment, like you feel like you need to do something, but when you watch it back, it's so clear, like, oh, right. I shouldn't have just run forward or blinked forward or shotgunned, or I should have backed up and baited that or whatever, you know. It helps so much in hindsight.
Yeah,
I love hindsight.
Well, I think
I forgot.
Yeah, no, go for it. If you remember, I'm trying to think of other. I'm super excited. You know, we mentioned. Hey, go for it.
I was just gonna say, don't follow everything that I do, because sometimes I'm blinking crazy places trying to get away and like doing stupid quick scopes and like dumb pushes. But like, I mean, sometimes it's, you know, strategic, but sometimes I'm just trying to, you know, like Wilson said, entertain. So don't just like blink behind 3 people and try to quick scope them all, because you're not gonna do it.
It's for the content, Joey. Like,
content.
You know, so my favorite thing that happens amongst you and Ryan is you'll be on a tear, you'll be hitting your snipes, you'll be hitting your hand cannon shots, and he'll come in and Dawnblade everyone, and you'll go, my content, like, because you're on this tear. You'll be like, Ryan, think of the content.
Oh man, it is great. I love hyping each other up too. Like, right, one time we were just rotating the map on Javelin, and every time Ryan went to kill somebody, I sniped him at like 4 times in a row, and he was just like, what it's like to play with Joverrated.
Yeah.
And then I would run around and try to kill people. He just Dawnblade them all from across the map. Oh man, it's great.
Some amazing meme clips, like the Nova bombs from Spawn to like where heavy rounds and stuff.
I'm working on something for you, just for you, Wilson.
Okay.
I've got a decent amount of cross map Novas coming your way.
Yeah, I've seen you guys do it with Dawnblades. Like, it's very interesting, very fun.
Oh man. Well, I think that is pretty much it as far as like new stuff going on with the PvP and the story and everything like that. We did have a TWAB. We already talked about the heavy changes going on. The only thing really left in there was Iron Banners coming next week, which for me, I think the gear looks awesome. I don't know what weapon stuff are coming, but I'm hoping that since in the past Bungie has kind of said Iron Banner was a pinnacle activity, especially with Trials gone. That's where a lot of pinnacle rewards have come from, high power stuff. So that'll be a chance for people to get caught up. But also, they said that the best armor with the highest stats are going to come from pinnacle stuff. So I'm hoping can grind out that Iron Banner armor, get some really high level stuff to start using some mods on, really commit to some armor, you know. That's what I'm hoping for next week. What are you guys thinking about doing Iron Banner at all, or is it like
I try not to think about Iron Banner.
I know you
salty.
don't.
Salty Banner with Hove.
Do you guys remember the emblem Heavy is Death?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Your boy
Joey.
got 2,500 kills. So
my god.
I've done my time.
Yeah.
Actually, you said sell out. I
Sell
do
out.
have like a how-to video for the Iron Banner, like, or the Iron Burden, like the best
Yep.
the best loadout for it. That Arbalest Recluse, dude.
Oh,
Dude, it was
100%.
nasty.
I would
dude.
assume, is Iron Burden gone, or can you still do that? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. We'll
They never
see.
really said, I don't think.
I really
Yeah.
see.
No.
Either way, dude, you were like top fragging with that loadout.
Dude, it
Like,
was
way
fun,
below
man. It was
everyone's
fun.
light. It was
I mean, once you get
super-
Recluse active, it doesn't matter if you're 200 light levels below.
forget about it.
It's awesome. Especially with something hard hitting as Arbalest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
only thing that can one shot when you're 100 below with the
Yeah.
headshot. That is.
It's super nice. The armor looks really cool. It's kind of reminiscent of D1 armor a little bit. I'm excited. I want that like 100%. I don't know what to call, like, I guess like I'm gonna steal something from Pokemon. They have individual values. I want that 100% IV individual value armor, which is what, like 65, 63 is the number that you want on the armor. That's
I'm not sure what's the highest. I got a 65 one. I have one 65.
I think
one.
65
That's
is a hundo, dude.
okay.
Anything in the 60s you want to keep. That's going to get you your best intellect, discipline, strength spread, you know, that whole thing, all
Yeah.
the stats on your armor. Once you fully masterwork it as well, because you have to fully masterwork it to like really unlock the 100% potential of those individual values.
My bad. I have a 56 one. I put an intellect mod on it, and that pushes it up 10. So I'm misthinking. It can get confusing once you put mods on it because the numbers change.
Once you really dive into it and actually say, I'm going to pay attention to the mod system, it's totally fine. I love it. I was a little overwhelmed at first. I'm absolutely
Same.
in love with it, dude.
Yeah, same.
like it
Yeah,
too.
I know we're gonna get off Iron Banner a little bit with this, but I don't feel like there's a lot to say with it because we don't really know what's coming other than the armor. But I did want to hit on that what Wilson just mentioned. That's the mod system. Joey, have you gotten into it at all with stacking different perks and stuff?
Only PVE. You know, for that main boss room, like you want to have void resistance and boss resistance, but I haven't done too much tweaking on PvP. I will say, a little life hack. You can take the old armor, like year one or year two armor, and I think it's a bond or like your class item and gauntlets. Those are the ones as a scavenger.
Mhm.
But now it's boots.
Yep.
Boots are for the
Yes.
scavengers. So I have 2 sniper scavengers from year 2 and then a rocket scavenger on my boots. And you get,
Ooh.
with Sins of the Past, you only get 1, or is it 2? Do you get 1 or 2 rockets from like the main
you get
power drop?
2.
I
think
think
it's
you get 2.
If you have 1 scavenger on, you get 3 from a brick just on the ground. Like if somebody dies and you pick it up, you get in PvP. They're probably gonna fix it, but yeah. So I can get 3 sniper shots from a special brick, and then 3 rockets from a power brick if somebody drops it.
I think
wild.
you can tell me
Content.
if you recognize this because I noticed the same thing with the legs. I used to run arms and the mark or the class item being fusion rifle and sniper, so I could just run that combo. And whenever I picked up a brick, it was 2 for each. But
Right.
now, even without the arms, I'm just running legs for fusion and the mark, the class item for sniper, and it's giving me in PvP. I pick up 1 green brick, and it gives me 3 sniper shots and 2 fusion rifle shots, which I don't understand the math there with only running those 2 perks, but it gives me a whole.
Is it-
It gives me more than I used to get.
What are the boots? I think the boots might give you 3 because it's the only scavenger now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
they
I
might
thought
do-
that would be the
Oh.
case because my boots are fusion, but my old class item is sniper, and it was giving me 3. I think it might be a sniper rifle specific class like perk change. Like for other weapons you get 2, but for snipers you get 3, which would be nice because I feel like
Yeah,
they
I
could
mean-
use that, you know.
Interesting.
That's nice for
But-
you. Double special.
What I was gonna say with the mod, yeah, so it's really nice, but also the mod, the more you get into it, like you were saying, Wilson, the more like in depth, especially as we get that energy level up on the armor, you can get an intellect mod costs 5, the new one, 5 energy, but you can also, if you get your energy up to 8, you can put an intellect mod and a discipline mod on, and that gives you plus 10 discipline and plus 10 intellect. Like that's a lot for one armor piece, you know.
That's
to
what I'm
stack.
saying. I'm gonna spec out for having my dodge ability as much as I can, and maybe even my melee for that hunter build that I was talking about, where I get my health back on melees and that
Yeah.
overshield on dodge. Dude, it's gonna be nasty.
Dude, I'm
Gross.
loving the armor set. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it too. I was hesitant at first, and I think they really wanted you to learn it because I mean I didn't really put that many mods on till the last encounter, and I think the teams that did really well in the raids or the world's first race, they like memorized the mod system and how it's gonna work, and then put their mods on like as the raid went in.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. Feel bad.
That's smart. It's tough though. It was a lot changing.
Yeah, it was a
for
big
all
change,
the-
so-
yeah.
Yeah. That's
I didn't
cool.
even think about that as an advantage to knowing the mod system, like you were
Yeah.
saying. That is a huge advantage to know that
100%.
beforehand. Jeez, yeah.
100%. That minor resist or boss resist or like Joey said, void resistance, man, that could be the difference between you getting one banged by the boss or not. You know,
Those
like
stupid cyclopses.
oh, dude, those things are
Oh.
no man. The terror that teams Cyclops on left, Cyclops on
Cyclops
left.
left.
Everyone would stop
Nobody
and be
got
like,
the cyclops.
yeah, shit. Like, you know, because man, it brings down one guy, dude, and that just throws off the whole pace of the fight, dude.
Could have been the person with the moats. Could have been the person with the buff.
Yep.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts to that raid.
Awesome. Well, that's about it. Iron Banner, you know, is coming. Everything. We got the TWAB out of the way. Hope you want to do some community questions real quick before we.
Yeah, we
shut
don't have
things
too
down.
many, but that's good because Anons is the most in-depth thing I've ever read.
Oh, it's very in depth.
Oh,
I was kind of
God.
like, how do I narrow this down?
I gotta start reading his before because
No,
they're
you're not
so
allowed.
into-
You're not allowed.
You
Oh.
do.
I'm in charge. I'm the podcast boss.
Twitter boss.
Twitter podcast boss.
Hmm.
Easy there.
First question is from Azrael Speaks. Is Joey really that overrated?
You tell me.
I would say this is a trick question because it's like if I say no, then I feel like I'm not giving him his name, you know. But if I say yes, I feel like that's a downer to him. So I can't answer
Nah,
the question.
dude, that's the whole point. The whole point of me like when I did my rebrand was to, you know, not be so hard on yourself. Like it's just a game. So if I'm playing a game and you know troll comes in chat, it's so easy to just brush off. Be like, yeah, I'm overrated. Like, oh well. Like,
Yeah, right.
so what?
Perfect,
Like-
man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and also to
That's
play it like
perfect.
if I get a good play or something, then it's an oxymoron. You know, it's yeah.
I love it.
All right, are we
Nice,
ready
dude.
for this one? You're going to have to pay attention.
Oh God.
Anon Pig asks, each of you have to be haunted by one of the following. Which would you choose to be haunted by? This is not just like a ghost or a goblin. This is ridiculous.
Not Eris.
This sounds like I read these questions beforehand, and each one sounds like its own individual like Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
I could
okay.
imagine.
So you'll see a person every so often, never close, but close
Nope.
enough to notice.
Not
Their
that one.
face is bloody and upside down. Sometimes they remove it, revealing a normal face beneath it. It's your face.
I mean, already seeing somebody that like, no,
Nope.
already know.
All right, next
Next.
one. You'll never see it yourself, but when other people look at you, sometimes they see a tall man lumbering over you, more often when they're seeing you in the corner of their eye. The tall man always has his hands ready to grab your head.
I like that one.
I probably that one, dog.
I like
if I
that
don't
one.
see it,
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
worry,
like,
there's
I'll be
3 more.
I'll be
Oh, I
like,
thought
yo,
there was 2 more.
that's just Thomas. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, so far,
He's cool.
so far that one's me too, because I'll never notice it. So you just tell people about it ahead of time.
People on stream would be weirded out, but whatever.
Yeah, or maybe you'll just think everybody's crazy because you'll never see him, and that would be.
Well, you would just make one of those like timed messages from your bots, like every 3 minutes, like, don't worry, the guy behind me is not gonna hurt me.
Yeah, it's just
put
Tommy.
like a sheet of paper in her chest, like, yeah, like, don't worry, it's fine.
He's
He's cool.
Yeah, I'm with creepy.
Periodically, while using any of your electronic devices, soft but horrible screams emit from their speakers, even if they're turned all the way down.
Nope. Can't have that in the
I feel
middle
like that's what Eris feels this entire campaign.
Yeah,
Exactly.
True, dude.
That's why she pees on everybody.
I can't.
Whenever you're outside the house, you'll hear the sounds of a large animal lumbering towards you at a fast pace. If you ever stop walking, you'll feel its hot breath on your neck, but it never does anything. If you're inside for too long, though, it will begin to scratch at any door you're behind and will leave marks. And will leave marks on the door.
I can't do that, dude, because I about got my arm ripped off by a dog when I was in 4th grade. Like, legitimately, the first time I had to get stitches, I had to get 198 stitches, and a plastic surgeon had to sew me up. And he like straight up told my mom, like, he's probably not gonna have his arm. And like, just that description right there that you gave me, made me relive it for like half a second of like what actually happened. Sorry to get super deep and real, but fuck that one.
Last one. Every morning when you wake up, you'll feel the weight of someone on you. You won't see anyone, but they'll be able to hold you down for as long as it takes them to whisper in your ear a date in the near future.
Nah.
I already have that. It's my cat.
Clearly.
No, see,
eat, bro.
that
Yeah,
one.
she wants to eat.
Yes,
That one
Joey,
sounds.
Yes.
That one sounds creepy for like the first time, but if you know that they're just gonna whisper a date every day and the date doesn't mean anything, then you just like wake up
But
and
you
you're like,
don't
all
know
right.
the date means anything. I mean, clearly it's the dude behind you. I mean, GG.
Yeah, maybe it's just all the same person. If he's that tall, he
Okay.
could sound like a big animal. He could have a bloody face. You don't know because you never see him. This could all be the same person.
Anything but one, dog.
I'm going with the guy behind me.
Guy behind me. 100%.
What did we name him? Tommy?
Thomas.
I'm gonna name my guy
Thomas.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
That's just Jerry. He's cool. Give him like a friendly name. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I think I would take the mysterious whispers in the devices. I think I go with that one.
Really?
See,
No, that would
but
be
how-
awful. Then how do you do the podcast? How do you listen to music? How do you play games? How do you?
Here's the thing. This is my life anyway because I've got Destiny on. The headphones are plugged in, but it's just sitting there. And
But
I
that's my
suddenly
point.
Hear Eris like whispering like, "You're all insufferable," and I'm like, "What was that?" Like, who? Like, I
Well, it
think
doesn't
someone's
have-
in the room with me. You know?
Does it have to be creepy screams, or could it be
Soft
screams of
screams.
screams of pleasure?
No, I don't think they're.
It
pleasant.
didn't say. I mean,
Usually,
Well, that was
Hope
like-
has those going on in the background.
That was
you know?
like no. The other day, I was in Discord voice chat because I've been playing PUBG with Rally or someone, and I jumped out, and Dewey jumped in, like later, but I didn't know. I was laying on my couch like 5 feet away watching Spider-Man: Far From Home, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't remember this. What is going on in the background? Who's yelling? And all of a sudden I finally hear Dewey going, "Hello, hello, is anybody there?" And I was like, oh, it's Dewey.
Dewey's in the movie.
All right, that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joey, so much for hanging out with us
Yeah,
and
man.
just like, you know, just letting us know all your infinite PvP knowledge about how to stay chill when it gets so sweaty out there.
Yeah,
Bro.
dude. Another little hot tip. When you die, try not to just immediately be like, "Oh, you suck," you know, just
Yep, yep.
like screw that guy. Lately, it's really been helping me. Just like, "Oh, nice shot," or like, "Nice snipe," and just little like reinforcements like that. It will 100% cool you off, and you won't be mad if you can like. I mean, unless it's a Jotun. Other than that, you're good.
Yeah,
That's my favorite thing, dude. Is being able to tell like the other team like, "Oh, good shots," or "Good
Yeah,
snipe,"
yeah, yeah.
or something like that, because it helps reinforce that, you know, you're not angry at the game all the time, you know, and helps you like
Right,
actually
right.
enjoy
It
playing.
makes you
and
have
stuff.
fun.
Listen,
yeah.
man, I can't hide that shit, dude. When I'm saying it, I'm like, good snipe, bro.
The 10th
Like,
time from that Aaron Till one-eyed masked Titan, dude. It's rough. Like it's rough. But...
I would say more importantly, if you get killed by something, tell your teammates where and what killed you.
Yeah,
Instead of bitching about
especially
the game.
if you're trying to like get for legend or something. Like
Yeah.
keep the comms clear. You have no idea how much like Like, hey, he's on Mohawk, instead of like, oh, like,
Yeah.
it just makes everybody flustered.
Harsh truth, nobody cares if you think you shouldn't have died there.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Listen,
like...
Bro, no, you're
you
right.
guys see what happened? I'm gonna clip this and send it to you.
Yeah, nobody cares how you died, and nobody
And
cares
we're all guilty of that. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
100%.
It happens.
For sure.
100%.
The
I have a
other
clip,
people on
actually,
your
of
team are going, shut the fuck up. Like,
I actually have a clip of Hove getting Wombo comboed, and he goes, okay, I don't know how that happened, actually.
wait, I don't remember that.
I'll have to find it for you. And then, like, I sidearmed all three of you, and then you followed it up with some nice moral support. But you were totally like, I don't know how that happened, but okay.
Like the petty kind of man.
Yeah, petty.
You know, we were giving advice on like watching your clips back and like where to improve. Like, oh, I shouldn't have done that or whatever. My main problem isn't like whatever I did, it's like what I did after I died. And I'm listening back and I'm like, man, I went on for like a minute talking about how that stuff went through the wall. You're like, shut up. That's my problem.
I'm curious why you clipped that, Wilson.
Yeah, I got. Oh, why I clipped that?
Because
it was because I got a nasty 3-piece with my sidearm right after that. That's why I clipped that. That was D1 anomaly. I'll bring it up. You even went, ew, Wilson, and I was like, yeah, it was nice.
I do that a lot.
He wanted to use that as like an audio clip for a future stream, alert.
I was just curious.
That's what he wanted it for.
Get your follow notification. Like, I don't know why that happened, but okay.
That's actually really fitting.
It is really good, dude.
I'm not sure what just happened.
Thanks again, man, for coming on. For those interested, REZOcast, if you're listening, we're on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, all those places. If you are listening on iTunes or Google Play this week, you should definitely go check out the YouTube, because there was some pretty amazing stuff at the beginning. And Hove's wearing a suit, so I mean, you got to come check it out.
You got to see the suit.
But
and the eyebrows, you can see the eyebrows.
Yeah, 100%.
We got multiple like.
Hove's known for his eyebrows as well, so there's a bit of a clash of the eyebrows.
Yeah, but mostly that's just Kim, who talks on my eyebrow. And Sam hasn't in a long time.
True.
But thank you for joining us. Any way that you're listening, we appreciate it. If you wanted to join the Discord, as I mentioned earlier, we do have the link in the description. If you want to just talk to us on Twitter, we're at REZOcast. You want to learn more about Team Resolute, that's at Team Resolute. We'd love to hear from you either way. This has been Lego, aka Legoli Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find you?
Before I get to that, I just want to say there was one disappointing thing about this evening, and it was that Sam did not bring Wilson food during the podcast.
Oh, what
he
the
texted
heck?
me. Listen, she brought me a hot ham and cheese before the podcast. Fucking Hove texts me and goes, yo, dog, what up with them fluffy fucking pancakes, dude? Because last
That's
time
not
Sam
exactly...
No, that is
word for word.
That is the fucking Cliff Notes. No. Put your phone away right now,
Don't
mister.
you
This
tell
is a
me what to
podcast.
do.
This is a professional podcast.
You don't make DMs public, Hove. Come on.
It's not a DM.
Actually, I made it public, so that's my
Yeah, also... Anyway, you can find me slide into Wilson's DMs. Twitter and Twitch, both are at Hove76. I don't really stream that often, but every Thursday at 9-ish o'clock Eastern, we do a podcast that you're listening to right now, and you should come by again. I probably won't be wearing a suit.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, well, sorry about your luck. Wilson.
You could find me eating fluffy pancakes.
Dude, they were the fluffiest. Go watch last week's episode. They were the fucking fluffiest pancakes.
Buttery nipple.
Thick with 2 C's, buttery nipple pancakes. The best. But like, if you want to hit me up on Twitter and show me pictures of like other awesome pancakes and things, or tell me
buttery nipples.
No, not those. Or tell me about your Shadow. Yeah, or tell me about your Shadowkeep experience. It's at Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson. Joey, where can they find you?
You can find me primarily on Twitch, live almost every day. Twitch.tv/Joverrated. It's just spelled J and then overrated. YouTube, Twitter. Twitter is Joverrated with an underscore, and YouTube is the same, just old Joverrated. The letter J and then overrated.
Nice.
Hot
Y'all go
tweets,
check
by
it
the
out,
way.
for real. Like, it's an amazing stream. Y'all gotta go check it out.
Oh shucks.
100%. Real quick before we go, the best hottest tweet ever was the warlock with the chest piece that had the big like pouch on the side, and you're
man,
Trials is sweaty when your warlock has to carry a VPN, like it looked like a big old VPN on his side.
Oh man,
Hot tweets. Hot tweets.
I got another hot tweet coming for you too, Wilson.
Nice. I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For sure,
It's really
man.
fun.
One last thing before we go, we didn't mention at the beginning, but the podcast is sponsored by Blue Microphones and Headphones. If you like what you're hearing, you can go to bluemic.com and get yourself some microphones and headphones. We don't. Oh, wait, what?
I was just saying, if you
say?
don't like what you're hearing, I'm sorry. I'll try to talk less next time.
If you don't like hearing about Eris Morn, like
My immersion.
The code REZOcast is not up yet still as far as I'm aware. It might
I don't
be.
know.
You can try it out, but I know the merging with companies, Blue Mic, has put some of the codes in a hiatus. So we'll get back to you. But their products
But still get
amazing.
their stuff because they're awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think that's it for episode 154. Thanks everyone for joining us. Until next time, GG.
Bye.
that's it on Disney Channel.